FocusHipHop.com, biznitch.
What's up, baby? I go by the name of OG Nick Marsh. This is Focus Hip Hop. Today, I have a special interview with multimedia artist, writer, and video game director Dom Rabrun. So, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Is this going to be on video? Is this going to be is my
Oh,
or just
we can
text?
talk about that. Either one,
Okay.
whatever you're comfortable with.
Because then like me waving and things are just like it's like I don't know who I'm talking to. But yeah,
Oh
hi.
yeah,
How you doing, Nick? It's nice to meet you in internet space like this kind of space because I've seen you years. You've been a
yeah,
great like nice internet presence to see, you know?
yeah. So the way I did that was I wanted to become a content creator. I didn't want to admit it for whatever reason, but because like people are like, "Oh, YouTube, that's not a real job," you know.
Yeah.
But I guess I part of me always wanted to do it, so I made an effort to leave a comment under everything I watched or read, so that people would start recognizing my avatar, and it worked.
And I remember like you have a very distinct avatar and you would always comment and it would be very distinct creative ideas or angles and you would never be mean, which is I always like I was like people who are kind first, you know?
Yeah, I uh, I can be mean at times, but you know, it's something I'm trying to not do.
Yeah.
Um, so I first discovered your work with Hip Hop RPG,
Okay.
which w so how did you go about deciding which artists to incorporate into the story? If that might be like a big question.
No, I can't answer that because the answer to that is zeitgeist. It was who was popular at the time. And in fact, I mean, I would have still chosen probably the majority of those artists, but
Mhm.
the first artist that came to my mind was the first idea I had was it was raining and I was listening to Swimming Pools Drank and I had this like I imagined Kendrick sinking into a pool, but then the pool keeps going. Like what
Yeah,
if which is like how a lot of my ideas go. I just take one element and then exaggerate it. And Kendrick's probably my favorite rapper, so I knew that he'd be the first member of like whatever that realm was. And then it was pretty much just everyone else I liked, whose work I liked. I should specify that, with the
mhm,
exception of like I'm not really a fan of Drake's work.
mhm.
Um or Macklemore, but
Right.
this was like right around the Grammy thing where he
Yeah.
apologized. So I knew I wanted to get that joke in there. So that's why I put him in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if you're talking about the rest of the series, it kind of, I mean, in many ways, it kind of devolved into whoever I was thinking about, who I thought would be funny or would fit into that world, and then I would just grab them, you know.
Right. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that was a good approach. I tend to my niche is more like underground independent artists, but I think the ambition in what you were doing uh it matched up with the kind of artists you were that were involved in the story.
Oh,
So
thank you.
it worked out. So if you were to this is just like a hypothetical. If you were to write another story involving hip hop artists, do you have an idea of who would be involved?
Mm.
If there's even
It,
anyone that comes to mind.
yeah, you know. I feel old, and I remember D-Respect told me years back. He said this in kind of like very raw New York D-Respect fashion. He's like, you don't really like hip hop, like you're
Yeah.
and it was one of those annoying times, and I remember being irritated at it, and I think what he was I I don't. It's not that I don't like hip hop. But my first love is like jazz instrumental, like synth. It's
Mhm.
always been that way, like uh really kind of abstract stuff. But that being so I say that because I feel like I don't keep up really that much with what's going on now. Like I try, but I'm also getting older and it's like I feel I'm trying not to be one of those old heads who's like, I don't know what these kids talking about now,
Yeah.
but it's just it's different, right? And of course it's different. Like I'm 36 now, so it's like different from when I was 26 making this thing.
Hmm.
So, but if I were to make it again, it would probably be like um Gambino leading and like maybe Danny Brown would probably be more prominent, JPEG Mafia. Uh if I were trying to do it like traditionally the way I was doing it.
Right.
But I would do something, I would of course challenge myself beyond what anyone asked me to do. I would do some kind of thing where it's one of Gambino's clones, so he died long ago, and these are just like four members of like four Gambino clones who are like sharing his consciousness or something as the main character. That would excite me.
Hmm.
I think I'm a maybe as much of a Gambino fan as I am Kendrick, especially when you consider all of his work. Like I'm a Gambino fan. I'm a Donald Glover fan, you
Yeah,
know?
me too.
Yeah. Not a surprise, you know.
I have an affinity for nerdy black people, so
Me too. I love it. I love it.
yeah. So I want to tell you about how your Dom Diggs series inspired the creation of my blog.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for anyone watching, Dom Diggs was basically a video series where Dom would just talk about what he liked. And it was, I didn't realize that like my interests mattered to people, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, so that made me, I didn't like talk to my friends about hip hop because they they liked rap, but they weren't like nerds about it, you know?
Hmm.
Um, so I watched your video about Noisy's Inside the Beat covering Earl Sweatshirt and Vince Staples, Mac Miller.
I
Um,
remember it's funny, I remember the image I made. I don't even remember really what I said.
really?
But it's kind of weird when I think about my work. Like I remember the color. It was like this dark gray thing. I got a shot of Earl like on his computer, right, with his hoodie on or
Hmm.
something. Yeah, I remember that. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, uh I was just saying like uh the ripple effect of that was I made my own blog where it was basically at first a glorified Tumblr page where I would just post stuff that I wanted to share with people. Um, the original name for my blog was OG Nick Marsh, the Young King.wordpress.com.
Okay.
And Young was spelled Young.
Of course.
Um, yeah, so I was 16 at the time. I didn't I didn't I didn't I didn't realize that. Well, I guess it was appropriate for a 16-year-old, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't tell anyone because I was like, no, they're gonna think it's lame. They're gonna think my blog is lame. Um,
Mhm.
but I'm I'm realizing now that that's bullshit. Um, so the other one is Because the Internet. I want to talk about that album.
The Dom Diggs or specifically just the album.
The how you dug it. So
Yeah.
um, Because the Internet is I decided like yesterday or the day before that it's my favorite album of all time. If someone
Now
asks,
here's the thing. I know people ask you that. Are we taking the totality of the rollout?
okay, yeah, it's I
You
see what
know,
you
you know what I'm about to say.
yeah,
Because you watched
yeah,
that video and
yeah, yeah. I think that's a reason why. So the music itself is what does it for me, but the screenplay and the the experience is what elevated it and made it so impactful and so had such an influence on me.
yeah.
And that album is 100% a classic. I don't care what anyone says. For my generation, at least, that's a classic album.
Hmm.
Um, And then the last one was Untitled Unmastered, or not the last one. These are I chose to talk about three Dom Diggs videos. You did one for Untitled Unmastered. I don't know if
Green album cover with like
yeah,
I think I said there was like a Bart Simpson hiding in
it
there.
was Kendrick Lamar, Bart Simpson.
Did I
Yeah,
I drew Kendrick as wow. Yeah, I
yeah.
remember. But it's funny. Like, I remember the visuals. I don't remember what I said, but I remember I stood outside of my apartment building and I this is just coming back. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even have any questions about that. I just wanted to remind you about it.
It's really fun. It's like I'm recently like super duper recently going back through my archive. Now this is something
Hmm.
I will reveal to you. Um I've had I've had a hard time reviewing my old work, and the closest thing I can say is it's like cringy
Yeah.
sometimes for me to watch my old stuff. And I mean, it's been years since I've watched a lot of the stuff I've done. I think I've only yeah, so but recently I came up with this kind of technique or maybe it's been I just I'm in the right headspace to start reviewing my old work. So I've been going back to stuff like from 14 years ago. Like I used to do speed drawing videos of people on chat roulette, and I've gone way back and I'm watching each video and just my rule is I can only log what I like about the work. I'm not allowed to think or talk about myself as a person. So
Hmm.
I'm really critiquing it like I would your work. If you showed it to me,
Yeah.
I can talk about what I liked about it or when I get bored. If any
Hmm.
time I get bored. So eventually I'm gonna get to Dom Diggs. I guess I'm in like 20, I can't do math. I guess I'm in like 2012 or 2013 right now where I just started interviewing people.
Wow.
So eventually I'll get to Dom Diggs and I remember that era of my life. But
Hmm.
but by the way, it's awesome that it like you liked it, that it influenced you because I remember feeling like so I don't not disillusioned is not the word. It's kind of
Disheartened.
maybe kind of why does anyone give a shit that I care that I liked, Tyler's album? Why am I doing that? And this happened often with DSC.
Hmm.
Um just questioning myself, especially yeah, as I got older, kind of being like why am I doing this? And it's a weird hazard of being on the internet, right? Because like you can because I have it is a small YouTube channel.
Hmm.
Um but I would get there were times when I was really focused on views or feeling like, oh, what is this? This video just got 200 views. It just no one watched this, which is it's a bad way to think about your work because I mean, we're talking about this is everything I wanted for me to make something and for someone to receive it and to look at that thing and to for it to just charge them to go do something that's theirs. That's and you're one person. So if there was just one view on that video and it was you, then that means I did what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But as a it kind of flies in the face of this weird desire we have to be Kendrick or have like Mr. Beast numbers on our thing, right? There's this I guess that's like animal part of us that wants to you want
Be the
prosperity.
goat.
Yeah, you want as many of the berries as possible. In this case, the berries being views. You're like, oh, if my thing isn't getting a million views, I failed, which is just such bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, like I'm glad it worked, and the work it meant something, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I totally relate to that. I honestly, this year has been transformative for me. And in a nutshell, I just now started believing in myself, basically.
Damn,
So, yeah.
that's
Um,
amazing, and it's good.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Um, so can we talk about the upcoming game you're working on, or do you want to hold that
Absolutely,
off? Okay,
yeah,
so can you teach me the pronunciation of it?
yeah, absolutely. It's Kies Uye.
Can you say it
No,
slower?
sorry, Kies Ooh, yeah.
PS. Ooh yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And this is
PS. Ooh yeah.
tentative. This is tentative title. My executive producer is trying to get me to change it because she's like, people aren't going to be able to pronounce it. And I'm
Oh
like,
right.
I understand that, but do you play video games?
I used to. I'm trying to get back into it.
Okay. The point I'm getting at is in anime and music and games, people have no problem pronouncing Shin Megami Tensei or Naruto, like Uzumaki, all that shit. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
we can like people could that's my angle, but
Hmm.
yeah,
I guess the hard part is knowing which risks to take.
there you go.
Yeah. Um,
But I can give you the spiel. I can give you the thing because
yeah,
I'm getting
yeah.
good at this.
If you could pitch the game to whoever's watching, yeah.
Absolutely. So whoever's watching this lovely blog by Nick, this is not a blog, this is an interview on the blog.
Yeah.
Uh so this game is a point and click adventure, story driven, about 2 hour runtime that takes place during the Haitian Revolution, but with telepaths.
Telepaths. Wow. Yeah, so if you're interested in this game, I suggest signing up for Dom's Patreon because he's been
Thank you.
giving like little previews and uh like behind the scenes views into what's going on in the development of the game.
Yeah.
How long have you been working on it?
First off, thank you for being like Nick is a OG Patreon, like has supported me in like months where I like the only thing I say is like I'm sad or something. I don't know, like throughout COVID, like I mean for real, thank you for that. There have been some rough times, let me tell you. Sorry, what was the question?
How long have you been working on the game?
So about 2 years, I had this fellowship with Black Public Media who are producing the game and helping me get grant funding and all that stuff. And
Amazing.
I pitched the idea to them as uh okay, you don't play games, so I'm gonna try and have you played fighting games ever?
Yeah, Soul Calibur 2 is my favorite game ever.
Okay, great. I used to play Raphael and I used to just like do this.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I would play Ivy and just pause the screen and like zoom in real close. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Just terrible design. Like, why do like it's just terrible, like boob armor. It's like you could just stab, you could just kill her. Like her
Yeah.
skin is just it's dumb. And
It's
and
it
like 10-inch heels. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like a lot of well, maybe I shouldn't say this. Or I don't want people to like I'll just say it. I feel like people don't think about whether things are censored enough or like whether they're family appropriate. But maybe that's just because my parents didn't censor anything for me as a kid.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so
They just drop you in a volcano and stuff.
yeah,
He'll be all right.
I saw some disturbing things as a child.
I feel
Um,
you. Yeah.
so we're running
Oh,
out of time, I think.
say
Uh,
what? I mean, I'm good for like 10, 15 more if you are, but
okay, I might run out of questions, but
you're good. You're fine.
okay.
Um,
So current projects right now, just the game, I
first,
guess,
yeah,
or
first,
not
please
just.
let me fit. Yeah, because I didn't finish this point.
Oh, sorry.
It was basically if you imagine a character selection screen, that's what I
Mhm,
pitched to Black Public Media. But I was like, it's a character selection screen in Saint-Domingue, now Haiti, in 1790. And my
mhm,
whole pitch to them was just to do a character selection screen where you're like, mulatto deserter, white plantation owner, black rebel, who used to be a farmer. And then they were like, you could make more out of this. So that's what I've been developing, and it's a point and click adventure. So that's okay. Now
I
I
see.
said the thing.
That sounds really cool.
Thank you.
Um, and then I feel like I kind of know the answer to this just based on the conversation so far, but I was going to ask if you've looked ahead into the future of what you may want to be doing after the game.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of for people, anyone who knows anything I've done, I've definitely been quiet on the front end, meaning things you can see, but I've been
Mhm,
working a lot on Stories, I write almost daily. I've been writing short stories. I have two that are finished. I'm hoping to publish. Um, but besides that game, the big thing I can say is two big things I can say are that I'm working on sort of repackaging everything that made DSC good and leaving out what I think is boring and sort of making it in a kind of trying to do more of that.
Hmm.
And I'm building a basically what my own Marvel universe, my own connected universe of stories featuring uh Caribbean and Caribbean American people and people from the diaspora, but with telepathic abilities mostly and like different powers given to them by uh spirit beings and stuff. So you'll be seeing little glimpses of that if you pay attention to what I'm doing. So that's kind of like the big thing I'm looking to do.
Right. That sounds really cool.
Thank you.
Um, I believe in you.
Thanks.
So one of the last things I want to ask is I remember I showed up to a live draw in on Twitch one time, and one of the first things you said was, "I hope you're in therapy" to the audience. You were just like,
Sounds like me, yeah.
"I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're all in therapy." And I was like, I got kind of defensive when I heard that. I was like, man, I don't need to be in
Fuck you, Dom.
therapy.
No, no.
Yeah, but I just want to say that that was important of you to say that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you heard that. I've read some of the stuff that you've been brave about writing about, and it's really powerful. It's heartfelt, and these are the kinds of things I think that how do I put it? It's so valuable, and I feel like where's your family from?
My mom's from Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, Caribbean. Okay, okay.
Caribbean vibes.
Gotcha. Okay. So, have you ever read P. Jelly Clark's work? Because you should.
I have not, but I will now that you mention that. Let me
Okay,
write that down.
I'm okay. I'll tell you and everybody. I'll pitch you on. So PDJELI Clark. Um, he is a Trini speculative writer, speculative fiction author, and a historian.
Hmm.
His books are insane. He has a short story, this novella called Ring Shout, where basically Ku Klux Klan are like turning into monsters at like clan demons, and these four women are basically hunting them with magic swords, and it's incredible. And
Damn.
I just gave you the tip of the iceberg. He's incredible.
That sounds very creative.
Yeah, and I mean this is a Caribbean mind making this stuff. And there are so many Caribbean, like strange Caribbean authors doing stuff right now. I recently read because I do audio narration as well, of a story by R.S.A. Garcia, who I think she might be from Trinidad, or one of the Saint Islands,
Hmm.
called Bishop's Opening. That's very good. I can send you a link to that as well.
Okay.
But you should probably know about her as well. And
Bishop's opening.
I derailed once more. Why did I?
Oh
Yes.
no,
Okay.
this is perfect.
Yeah.
I watched
I
Double D's, so
you
or I
you know how
listened to
my
Double
brain
D's. Yeah, so this is
my
what I
brain
wanted.
okay. Yeah. You're in it. This is welcome to the experience. But I
Yeah.
Double D's did teach me how to come back. Like
Hmm.
it's like me and D Respect would be wandering, and then but then we'd be like, what was it? Okay, yeah. And it's like a wandering thing. The reason I asked about your lineage is because I suspected you had a similar, background to me. And I feel like when we go to therapy, when we do this hard work, we're basically fixing or trying to work with a lot of the stuff that our parents, grandparents, their parents before them just didn't have time to work with, didn't have time to resolve, or even have the luxury of thinking about. I mean, we
Yeah.
have this beautiful, I consider it a luxury and a privilege to have someone who's obligated to sit there and listen to you and really give you good advice to make your brain more healthy. And I think it's something that we should all be doing if we're inclined to do it. I'm not saying everyone needs to go. I think everyone should, but I know everyone doesn't. And this is the only way we're gonna do, better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I have friends who are like, no, I'm not going to therapy. Therapy's bullshit. And it hurts because I care about them, you know? And I
Yeah.
want them to, I don't know. I don't want to go down that that road, but
Oh, you
yeah.
see, I only give them one. Like you're only gonna get that one time from me. If I tell someone to go directly,
Uh-huh.
or suggest it and they give me a no, like what you just said, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm never suggesting that to you again. Because I mean,
Yeah.
excuse me, it's one of the single most powerful decisions I've made. Like I made, um okay, you could probably edit this part out.
Okay.
Uh, but
Let me
I
pause the recording.
okay,
So this is like the last question I have. Um,
okay.
it's gonna be like a straightforward, just quick answer. And I don't know is a very okay answer, so don't feel any pressure. Uh, favorite, or yeah, I kind of have a feeling I know the answer, but favorite rapper?
Gambino.
Okay. Favorite rap album?
You led me on this. Damn it. Oh, okay. I think, oh, this is hard.
Mhm.
Damn it.
You don't have to give one. You can give a few if you.
Okay, Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy,
Mhm.
To Pimp a Butterfly because of the internet. Um, I think those are the I think those are the big ones for me.
So To Pimp a Butterfly, I say is the best album I've ever heard, but because the internet is a personal favorite.
And I mean, people need to know about the screenplay and about the concept itself. This guy made an app. He was learning how to code to tell this story. Inside the interactive screenplay, they embedded videos in it. Did you ever go to the site back when
I
it was
didn't
live?
when it was live, I don't think I went to it because
Oh, it was a beautiful website.
yeah, I've seen like pictures and stuff. But they have like the transcription of the I have the vinyl and it
Oh,
has
awesome,
the
awesome.
booklet. So
That
yeah.
the interactive, just I'm a whore for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They call it trans narrative, where one item is like broken into multiple pieces, and that is just they went for it. They went for it and did something different. I love
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was it was very impactful and very formative for me.
Yeah.
Um, and then this is going to be a really hard one, probably, but favorite rap song? Okay. Okay, you don't have to answer that.
No, 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 no. Okay.
I didn't even have one until like a few months ago.
The thing, like I don't know that I can give you one, but I can give you um I mean, Life the Biggest Troll is just like
Hmm.
that song has a world inside of it, if you
It
ask me.
does.
Um DNA's pretty good. I love Wesley's Theory. I don't know if Flying Lotus counts as hip hop technically. Um
We can include electronic like instrumental stuff. That's not even
Igor's
rap,
theme,
but
Igor's
but
theme. I know it's not rap, but I'm gonna say that Igor's theme. Um, New Magic Wand.
mhm.
Love New Magic Wand from Igor. Heroes, the first track off of Flamagra.
Mm.
Um,
I loved Flame Agra. It got a lot of flack when it came out, but I
Fuck
liked
them.
it.
That oh my God. Flamagra is like when you look at that guy's whole his genealogy, people don't motherfucking know where he comes from.
Yeah.
He's carrying the torch of Alice and John Coltrane. I think specifically Alice Coltrane, like her wild ass production.
Hmm.
He's I yeah, I know I'm a stan. I'm a stan. So
That's cool. Well, yeah, that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much
Yay!
for this interview. This was like a bucket list thing for me, honestly. Um, so I'm just gonna tell the viewers, follow Dom Rabrun. He's a multimedia creator and artist doing big things. He's interviewed Pink Navel, Paul White, Neil Gaiman, Anthony Fantano, Mike Seatown, and even more.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
oh yeah.
yeah, so that's it.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
so much,
watching.
Nick.
Legalize it, don't demonize it. Stay keeping, my brothers and sisters. And as always, peace out.
Bye.
It's totally surreal.